Why being an ancient Egyptian warrior sucked. Imagine waking up not to the comfort of your home, but to the relentless sun beating down on the arid desert. Your muscles ache from the previous day's training, and the only thing awaiting you is another grueling day as a soldier in ancient Egypt. While the grandeur of pharaohs and pyramids often captures our imagination, the life of an Egyptian warrior was far from glorious. Let's delve into the reasons why being an ancient Egyptian warrior truly sucked. In ancient Egypt, military service wasn't a choice, it was a mandate. During times of war, the pharaoh had the authority to conscript 1 in 10 able-bodied men from each community to bolster the army. This meant that farmers, artisans, and laborers were abruptly uprooted from their lives to serve in the military, often with little to no training. The sudden transition from civilian to soldier was jarring. Many of these conscripts had never held a weapon before, yet they were expected to march into battle and defend the empire. The lack of preparation and choice made conscription a dreaded fate among the populace. Once conscripted, soldiers underwent rigorous training to prepare for the hardships of warfare. They were expected to march up to 20 miles a day, build endurance, and master various weapons like the bow, spear, and the curved khopesh sword. Discipline was enforced through severe punishments. Infractions, even minor ones, could result in beatings or other harsh penalties. The training was not just physically demanding, but also mentally taxing, breaking down individuals to rebuild them as obedient soldiers. Unlike the heavily armored soldiers of other ancient civilizations, Egyptian warriors often went into battle with minimal protection. Their primary defense was a shield, and when armor was used, it typically consisted of hardened leather straps. This lack of adequate armor left soldiers vulnerable to enemy attacks. Facing foes equipped with superior weaponry and protection, Egyptian soldiers were at a significant disadvantage, making combat even more perilous. Life as a soldier wasn't just tough on the battlefield. Daily life was marked by discomfort and scarcity. Soldiers' diets were monotonous, often limited to a few loaves of bread and some beer. These meager rations provided little sustenance for the physically demanding tasks they faced. Sleeping quarters were cramped and offered little respite from the elements. Hygiene was poor, leading to the spread of diseases. The combination of inadequate nutrition, poor living conditions, and constant physical strain took a toll on the soldiers' health and morale. Egypt's strategic location made it a target for various invasions and conflicts. Soldiers were frequently deployed to defend the empire's borders or to participate in expansionist campaigns. These missions often meant long marches through harsh terrains, facing unpredictable weather, and engaging in brutal battles. The constant state of warfare meant that soldiers had little time for rest or recovery. The psychological strain of perpetual combat, coupled with the physical demands, made military life exceedingly challenging. Despite their sacrifices, most soldiers received little recognition or reward. While high-ranking officers and those close to the pharaoh might be granted land or titles, the average soldier's contributions went unnoticed. After years of service, many returned home with nothing more than scars and memories of the horrors they endured. The lack of upward mobility and appreciation made the prospect of military service even less appealing. For many, it was a thankless job with no tangible benefits. Beyond the physical hardships, the psychological impact of constant warfare was profound. Witnessing the death of comrades, facing the threat of one's own mortality daily, and engaging in acts of violence left lasting mental scars. There was little understanding or support for mental health. Soldiers were expected to suppress their emotions and continue fighting, leading to long-term psychological issues that remained unaddressed. The combination of poor living conditions, inadequate nutrition, and constant physical exertion made soldiers susceptible to various diseases. Common illnesses included malaria, tuberculosis, and intestinal parasites. Medical knowledge was limited and treatments were rudimentary at best. Injured soldiers often faced infections and complications, with little hope for recovery. The lack of effective medical care further exacerbated the challenges of military life. When not engaged in combat, soldiers were often conscripted to work on massive state construction projects, including temples and monuments. These tasks were labor-intensive and offered no respite from the physical demands of military service. The dual role of soldier and laborer meant that there was little downtime, leading to chronic fatigue and burnout. The expectation to serve the state in multiple capacities added another layer of hardship to an already difficult life. Perhaps the most daunting aspect of being an ancient Egyptian warrior was the constant proximity to death. Whether on the battlefield, from disease, or due to harsh punishments, mortality was a daily concern. The lack of safety nets or support systems meant that soldiers faced these dangers alone, with little assurance of survival or care for their families in the event of their demise. While ancient Egypt is often celebrated for its architectural marvels and cultural achievements, the reality for its warriors was one of relentless hardship. From forced conscription and brutal training to inadequate equipment and constant threats, being an ancient Egyptian soldier was a grueling existence with few rewards. Their sacrifices, though largely unrecognized, were instrumental in shaping and defending one of history's most iconic civilizations. It's essential to remember and honor the resilience and endurance of these unsung heroes who bore the weight of an empire on their shoulders. As we marvel at the remnants of ancient Egypt, let's take a moment to acknowledge the countless warriors whose toil and sacrifice made such grandeur possible. Their stories, though often overshadowed, remind us of the human cost behind the pages of history.